thank you again. I appreciate the fact that you tune in every afternoon at 4:30, as has always been the case. We have another exceptional show for you today. Although after you watch this show, you may be a little sore the next day because we're going to talk about keeping in shape and exercising, things that you can do while you are safer at home. So our guest is going to be Michelle Richards, and apparently she has a victim next to her there that she's going to do all the hurt me exercises on. Hopefully not. But anyway, before we get started with you, I want to give a couple of updates on our COVID-19. Our case update is we have 1,080 cases of COVID-19 in Hillsborough County, with 22 deaths right now. As I say every show that we have, that each of those individuals or each number in that 22 is an individual and it's somebody's loved one. So we all have to do everything that we can to avoid the spread of COVID-19, thereby reducing the number of deaths. And we have done a very good job so far. The governor was in town yesterday over at Tampa General Hospital and talked about Hillsborough County and our Safer at Home and the way that our citizens have responded and how successful we have been in really flattening that curve. So that is very exciting news. We also are going to be talking about phased reopening of our community, and that's something that we have to do very slowly, one notch at a time, so that we don't have to overcorrect and we don't have any surges in the number of cases here in our community. So we'll be bringing you information on that, hopefully here in the near future. Before we can do that, though, as I've said many, many times, we have to increase the number of tests that we have, and we have the available testing kits, the collection kits. We just don't have individuals coming out to be tested. So please go to tampagov.net. There's no criteria anymore. If you want to be tested for COVID-19, you can come and be tested. And we have plenty of sites that are open. You just have to go on to tampagov.net and see where they're at. Lee Davis Center, Raymond James Stadium, within the city limits. There are a couple out in the county, and Advent Health has one at Adventure Island. So plenty of places to go and be tested. You need to come out and be tested. Very, very important. So the testing is one aspect of it. The other one is the contact tracing. So Jane Castor goes in, takes a test, comes back that that's positive. Then the health department, in partnership with USF Medical School, will go out and contact those individuals that I have come in contact with, so that we can get them tested and then monitor as necessary, again, to try to reduce the number of cases. And we also are putting in place, again, with the health department and in cooperation with USF Medical School, syndromic surveillance. And what that means, it sounds pretty futuristic, but it's very simple. Those are individuals that come into doctors' offices or into emergency rooms to hospitals that are presenting with the symptoms of COVID-19. So we will be basically putting those geographic locations on the map around the city of Tampa and Hillsborough County. And then also individuals that go on to Hillsborough County's website and fill out that survey that I've been asking you guys to do. If you haven't done it yet, please go on and fill that out, because that gives us geographic information of where these hotspots are at, where people with the symptoms or the positive virus tests are at, so that we're able to put the services into those locations and make sure that we don't have an explosion of tests. So, explosion of positive cases. So again, go on to tampagov.net and all the information that you need is on there. Hillsborough County has opened up a call center, and they have a program now that they call R3, and it is to help anyone anyone in Hillsborough County, whether you live in Tampa, Temple Terrace, or Plant City, or unincorporated Hillsborough County, any citizens that have been affected by COVID-19, you lost your job or had a pay reduction, you can call the Hillsborough County hotline, and that is 813-274-6710, 813-274-6710. And you can apply to have 1 month's rent or mortgage and utilities taken care of. Same thing for small businesses, I believe. Nope, just residents. Ours is for small businesses as well, and that is the One Tampa program. So very important. Still needing the medical supplies, so if you have anything that you can donate, we're doing that down at 205 North West Shore. That's West Shore Mall, the old Sears automotive location there. They are taking supplies from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Surgical gloves, masks, whatever you have. Be more than happy to get that. Remember the census, you've got to go on and fill out the census. Fill out the paper application that you received in the mail, or go to census.gov and fill it out. It doesn't take any time at all, and it is critically important that all of our residents fill that out, because number one, it determines how much federal funding we are going to get in our community. It also determines how many congressional reps we're going to have in Washington, D.C. So it's critically important that that you go on to the census.gov and fill that out. USF Health Matters is a program that the City of Tampa is doing in cooperation with USF Health, and it is focused around educating everyone on COVID-19. And you can see that every Wednesday morning at 10, every Monday and Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. on the City of Tampa's Instagram account, which is at City of Tampa. So make sure that you go to that. Tomorrow's guest is going to be psychiatrist Jackie Flood, and she'll talk about mental health issues and how this COVID-19 has affected so many of our residents. So make sure you tune into that. And then we have Real Talk on Rona. That's a partnership with the Tampa Family Health Centers. And that program is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. So please tune into that. It is a webinar. Go on to tampa.gov, and all of the information that you need, tampagov.net, I'm sorry, tampagov.net, and all the information you need on those programs are there. So let's see what else. So again, you go to our website, you can find out about those events, all of the shows that we have, all of the information about testing, information about financial assistance, anything and everything that you need to know about COVID-19 is at tampagov.net. Very, very important. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. I think I'm stretched out, so I'm all ready. So Michelle is the owner of Tampa Movement Lab, and I was actually there at one of your openings, and she's going to give us some great, with her trusted sidekick, is going to give us some great information on how we can stay fit and active while we are safer at home. So let's start with the questions. During a quarantine, a lot of people might be sedentary at home. So what's something that would be quick and easy that that people could do at home just to keep moving throughout the day?
Yeah, so I actually FaceTime and I Zoom with my clients all the time. They're always saying that they're at their desk, and some have more space than others. So this is what I think is the best thing to do if you're at home and you're working in a seated position all day long, is just to stand up every 30 minutes or so, maybe put a timer on your phone so that it buzzes when that 30 minutes is up, and then simply perform my favorite exercise, air squats. So my beautiful model here, Clay, is doing air squats right now.
Clay.
Yeah. Hey. And you can see he's keeping his heels on the floor. He's going down deep, and he's just drawing up into full extension of his knees and his hips. And if you do 10 every 30 minutes, I really do truly believe that's the best thing that you can do, just because it's so good for you. It's movement, nutrition, and it's good exercise and calorie burn.
Excellent. That's an excellent idea. So a lot of people have joint pain, especially in their back. And trust me, the older you get, the more joint pain you have in different places. So, again, the sedentary lifestyle. So is there anything that individuals can do for that joint pain that, again, is quick and simple?
Yeah, absolutely. Quick and simple is really the goal. And it's important to understand that when you're sitting all the time, you're in that really deep, or not deep, I'm sorry, but just a small flexion of your hip. And you're always kind of in that rounded posture for your upper spine. So it's like that lower back that takes all the stress in that posture. So I'm just going to show you guys, this is my favorite one. Clay's going to lay down on his back. So hopefully you can see him pretty well. He's gonna just, yeah, okay, perfect. Yep. He's gonna bend his knees, and he's got his knees at like a 45-degree angle, and he can just rest his feet on the ground. Just rest them. And then he'll cross his legs, kind of like the ladylike version of crossing your legs. His shoulders stay on the floor, and then he's just gonna sweep his legs as far as he can one direction on an exhale. Inhale back to the center, and then exhale and go the other direction. So shoulders staying down is a big one, and just trying to separate and elongate the shoulder and hip sling, all that, the muscle and tissue between your shoulder and hip. But I do have one more that I want to show you guys. So a lot of times when your back hurts, it's your hips that are tugging on the low back and creating a lot of that stress. So he's using my couch right here. But if you're at home, especially if you're working at home, you can use your chair or a bench or an ottoman. But he's got his foot elevated on the couch, and it's that knee that's on the floor, and he's in a half kneel, so the other foot's in front. This can be kind of a really big stretch, so if it's too much, you can put your hands on the floor to start and just breathe into this. And when he's here, he's squeezing the glute, the back butt cheek of the knee that's down. And then if he can, he'll actually elevate, and if he needs something to help him balance, he'll hold on to another chair, a stick, a foam roller, or something fun that's close and high enough for him to hold it and breathe here. And this one's really big because, again, we're always in this seated flex position. So it puts a lot of stress here, especially if we try to stand up. We're hyperextending to stand up because of the tightness here. So if we can get better extension, it allows you to stand up without having to stress out your back. So it's huge. I see it all the time, a lot of tightness in that part of your body.
Yes. Excellent. My back feels better already.
Yay.
Just from watching it does. Oh, that's amazing. That, and I have horrible balance. That's another thing that the older you get, one of the things that goes away too. So I appreciate the chair being in there. It's very important. So what particular exercises do you suggest that individuals do every single day?
Okay, so I already kind of talked about squats, but I'm going to do it again because it's so important. See, the reason that we like squats so much is because it really does involve all the muscles of your body. It increases circulation through the whole body. So when you're doing a squat, you can do air squats like we showed you guys before, where he's just going up and down. That's kind of your minimal way to squat. Now, if we're really trying to get in the squat and try to increase mobility of all the joints, ankles, hips, and knees, he can go all the way down into a squat and hang out down there. It's not easy to get this low, but it's definitely what I recommend is trying to work towards the deep, deep squat. And he can always, again, hold on to something that's probably more sturdy than this chair to keep himself down there. As long as the heels are on the floor, it's safe to be down in this deep squat. And it's actually meant to be the position that humans were meant to rest in and eat in and other things that I won't say on the air. This is a natural human position that so many of us can't do because we're just in a seated position so often that we can't get that deep. So squats in any capacity, just body weight or resisted or just mobility squats.
Yeah. And those are great because, squats, lunges, those are the kind of things that you don't need any equipment in order to do that. But Clay, I tell you what, if I went down that far, somebody would get me back up because I'm not a flexible individual. Matter of fact, I have to, when I do my squats, I touch the ground one hand and keep another one straight forward so that I make sure that I'm looking forward and keeping that good posture. So we all know fitness can be something that is time consuming. Are there any just short routines that you would suggest that individuals could use every day that wouldn't take a lot of time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So guys, at my gym, we actually have a big bare space of just mats. And the reason is because really don't need a lot of equipment. And I stress this all the time. I hate that sometimes we just say we don't have a lot of time because we have to drive to the gym, do an hour-long workout, and then drive back and shower and all the things that come along with it. So in a way, the quarantine is kind of exposed and brought to life that we can't do that now. So we have to be creative. And I think it's really kind of giving like it's giving us more nutrition in our movement because we're being creative and we're finding that there's actually more things that we can do, which is awesome. So I did think of a little circuit that I think is the best. And so I am going to start with air squats. So you can definitely by the end of this live show know that I feel strongly about air squats. Clay will show you the first move of 3. So first move is 5 air squats, chest up, heels down. You can see his arms are going forward, and that's just helping him keep his upper body tall. After that, he's got 5 plank down dogs. So he's going to go into the top of a push-up. Can you see him pretty good, Mayor Castor here? Perfect. And when he's in that top of push-up, he's nice and tight. He's squeezing his glutes. He's bracing his abs. And then he's going to push into a down dog, which is actually a stretch for the back of the legs. So he'll try to straighten his legs, squeeze his quads in that down dog position and drive his heels into the floor so he gets a stretch. So you're alternating plank to down dog 5 times.
Okay.
And then the last move I think is really good for, again, your low back and your strength is a hollow hold. So he'll lay down on his back for the last move of the circuit. And with his knees bent, he'll actually put his feet on the floor. He's going to reach his fingers towards his heels with a lot of exertion and effort. And now he's just in this crunch position. So it's a really good ab strength position. 5 seconds, and then he can rest.
Harder than it looks, all right?
Yeah, you can tell, Clay. You can tell.
AC broke today too, okay?
I don't have any.
Okay.
We
There.
gotta get Tucker out here.
Okay.
So 5 of the 5-second holds. And if you go through that a few times, it'll only take a few minutes. So that's our circuit.
Good. That's excellent. That's that. It's amazing what you can do. That little exercises that you think you have to be in the gym lifting weight when there are so many things you can do at home. I mean, a simple plank is a killer as well. So let's see. Have you found common household items or objects that you could use for resistance training now that gyms are closed?
Yeah, to be honest, my favorite items in the house when I'm training my clients on FaceTime or Zoom have really just been things like a chair or a countertop that's sturdy. I mean, thinking about what you can do with that surface, you can do dips, you can do push-ups, and it's easier for folks that might struggle with those things because it's an elevated surface. So I'm here, or I can flip over with my hands on the surface and do my push-ups. There's many things, but since the question was an object, I do have an object I've been finding that is useful for my clients too. Not everyone's got a pot, but everyone's got something like it. So if Clay holds onto the pot, literally anything that's about 10 pounds, he can do things, like squats. He can do something like a press, so actually press overhead. He can even do a bent over row where he's facing the ground and he's rowing the object and getting stabbed with a plant a little bit. But honestly, the objects have worked out great. So the countertop or the plant or anything that's about 10 pounds, if you need like a loose object, I think works awesome.
Good. That's excellent. So let's see. Hydration is important. What are the tips for? And people really have no idea. Talk about some of the physical benefits of hydrating and what can happen if you don't consume enough water every day.
Well, my tip would be to keep a water bottle with you at all times. This is a 12-ounce mason jar bottle, which is also good for the environment. But if you don't, I guess, know all the benefits, there's tons. When it comes to blood flow and circulation, water is really the thing that pushes all of the bad toxins and pushes the good nutrients through the body and gets blood flowing. So if you have joint pain and you're not drinking water, that will get much worse. If you have mental fog and you're kind of feeling like fatigue and a little bit fuzzy minded and you're not able to keep your thoughts clear, a lot of times that's from hydration as well, because the same reason, with good blood flow and circulation, we can get more nutrients to the brain. So it's like the best thing for everyone. Sometimes with movement, it's not even worth talking about exercise if we're not already drinking enough water and getting the proper nutrition and sleep. So huge.
Yeah, without a doubt. So people are stressed out, for a number of reasons, financially, worried about contracting the virus, at home, away from work, away from social circles, have the kids around them. Do you have any tips for individuals that are maybe having trouble sleeping at night because of stress?
Yeah, actually, I have a lot of clients going through this right now, and a lot of members of my gym talking to me about this. It's just the uneasiness of the unknown, right? So
Yes.
we're thinking of all the worst possible scenarios, or maybe we have a loved one that's sick, and it's so much stress right now. So a big one I think is meditation. And if you've never done it, then there's really great apps out there like Headspace. But for me personally, and some of my clients has worked for as well, is just a certain type of breathing technique that will take your mind off of anything, because it's a little exerting in its own. So you really have to focus on what you're doing and pull your mind inward instead of out here and all these things happening in the world. But also it helps to promote the sympathetic nervous system turning to parasympathetic, which just means you're going to go from that fight or flight state to a more calm down state to allow yourself to rest and hopefully fall asleep. So Clay's going to show you guys the position. So he's just simply lying down. Right now he's in a comfortable position for himself. He's going to put one hand on his chest and one hand on his belly. And when he takes an inhale, he's going to go in through his nose only. And he's expanding his belly like a balloon filling with air. And when he takes an exhale, he'll go out of his mouth and squeeze all that air out like a sponge. When you start the breath, pull a lot of air in. Start doing it like with a lot of exertion, pulling that air in through the nose and try to really get it to last about 5 seconds. And when you exhale, squeeze all that air out hard. You want to try to feel your belly sink in so that you really are working hard to pull in a lot of air and push it back out. And then as you start to get tired, about a minute in, start to go slow. So then it just becomes a simple rise of the belly and fall of the belly. It's still 4 seconds inhale, 4 seconds exhale, and making sure that this other hand is on your chest so that the chest doesn't rise and fall. It's just your belly doing the motion, and you will have all of that calming energy coming towards you, because really your nervous system will shift.
That's amazing. I just sleep. There you go. Look at that. That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about nutrition. Everybody's home and they're probably snacking more than they should. So any nutrition tips for individuals that might be struggling?
Yeah, definitely. What I have talked to people about is just that concern of going to the grocery store. And of course, we're all wearing our masks. Maybe we have gloves, whatever the precautions that we're taking. But if you will eventually have to go or order food some way or another. And when you do, my suggestion is to get a lot of protein that you can freeze. So just getting beef, chicken, fish, things that are rich in protein, putting it in the freezer, and then on a Sunday or a day you have a lot of time, is cooking enough for the entire week. Because for our metabolism to stay fast and continuously lose weight, or at least maintain a good healthy weight, we need about 1 gram of protein per body weight. So making enough for the week and not having a crunch time where you don't have any food and you just end up snacking on Cheetos. You actually have that protein already in the fridge. You can heat it up in the microwave or on the stove, and it's right there for you. And I also suggest buying some frozen fruits and frozen vegetables for the same reason, just because we might have a little bit more time in between grocery trips. We can't buy as much fresh stuff. Right. So having the frozen veggies and fruits is just like an easy way to snack on something when you're about to make a bad decision.
That's great. That is that's wonderful advice, and that's kind of the red Castor approach. That was my dad, and he cooked. He was from a family of 12, and so when he cooked, he always cooked for huge amounts and portions, and I'm a big fan of that as well. Cook it up and put it in the freezer, and then you have that supply going forward. Well, thank you so much for these wonderful tips. I know that everybody needs this information, and everybody needs some really easy steps to follow to reduce stress, to stay in shape, and to pay attention to their nutrition. It's just incredibly important, as is consumption of water to ensure that you're hydrated. It really is amazing what that can do. Dehydration can actually do to the body. So I thank you guys very much. I I haven't been able to get to the gym because of my schedule, but that has always been my stress reducer, is to be able to go and work out. And I used to tell my assistant at the police department, I would say, I'm going to go down to the gym. I'm just going to lift the entire gym about 3 times and I'll be back up. And, you reduce that stress. I said, it's going to save a lot of people their jobs. But I ended up buying a Peloton. I'm an avid cyclist. So that's my savior every single morning, is to jump on that Peloton. And then I just have a couple of free weights. And so I do a lot of the exercises just to get it done in the morning. Yes, without a doubt. So I thank you very, very much. This has been very enlightening, and hopefully, we'll be able to have everybody out there that is safer at home. You can go out, you can get some fresh air. You can go on to the internet and look for the Couch to 5K instructions, where you can start out walking and end up within a month or so being able to run a 5K. So a lot of things that you can do, simple steps for reducing your stress and keeping yourself in shape. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Clay, for being our ever so handsome model and victim there of the. I saw that look when you were doing the crunches. Yeah, that
I know my head may have looked like it was going to explode. I swear it was just the lighting.
yeah, right.
Right.
Because we know you are a specimen of physical fitness, without a doubt. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Clay, very, very much. You guys
If
have
any of your viewers, have any more questions, Michelle Richards on Facebook at Tampa Movement Lab, and
all right.
CrossFit Hyde Park. Yep.
Excellent, excellent. All right, you guys heard it there. If you have any questions at all, or you have any need for a personal trainer, which we all do, reach out to Michelle. Thanks, Clay. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. All right, to the rest of our viewers, if you have not texted Tampa Ready or Tampa Lista or Tampa Biz to 888-777, do it now. You will be the last inhabitants of Tampa to have done so, because we have an incredible number of followers, and you'll be able to get real-time updates on COVID-19, as well as business updates as well. So make sure that you're going on there. Very important. All of our small business owners. I was on the phone today with several of our lending institutions, the smaller ones, including GTE Financial and Suncoast Credit Union, and they are processing applications for the latest release of the PPP funding. 30 billion of that is going to the small lending and credit unions. So if you have not applied for that funding yet, do so. If your lending institution doesn't participate in the program, go to another one. You have got to apply for that, because it's first come, first served. The first round went very quickly. So make sure that you are getting the funding that you need to keep your business up and running. Very, very important. If you need to talk to someone, we still have our recovery hotline up and running, and that is 1-833-TPA-INFO. Remember, 6 o'clock is our dance party. I know you guys, Michelle and Clay, I know you're out there dancing. 6 o'clock, iHeartRadio, any of the 6 stations that they have, please tune in. You can go to their website, vote for the song of the day, and then the only thing that you have to do at 6 is go outside and dance like nobody's watching. So please remember, everyone. Also, tomorrow evening show is going to be Dr. Alex Engelman and he is going to talk about pedestrian safety on our roadways here in the city of Tampa. So very, very important. And remember, these are frustrating times. There's a lot of anxiety out there. There's a lot of fear. But remember, we will all get through this together. And any assistance that you need at all, you just need to contact us and we will get you to the right people to take care of whatever it is that you need assistance with. Just remember, we are all in this together. And before we go, I have to bring Des. I was telling Michelle and Clay before it started that my exercise for the day is, come here, Des, come, is to do, I could do some squats too with Dessa. She's gained a few pounds, but I just do curls with Dessa every day, our office dog. Dessa just goes from chair to chair in our office and sleeps. She's got such a rough job, but somebody's got to do it. But anyway, stay safe, stay calm, be kind, and whatever you do, stay at home if at all possible. Thank you all. Thank you guys. Y'all take care, and I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30. Bye, Dessa. Bye, Dessa.